Hello and welcome to this lesson. Is a track by the Dark Lord himself, Joe Stump, who's a kind of really cool mix of 60% Richie Blackmore and 40% Yngwie Malmsteen. So he's not exactly breaking new ground as a guitarist, but he's badass and he's a fantastic composer actually of neoclassical shred tunes. I've learned quite a few of his pieces now, and they're really fantastic studies in neoclassical composition, technique, chord progressions, etc. We're not doing the whole track, it's just a section, as you saw in the opening demonstration. It's just a really fantastic exercise in pedal tone licks and also harmonic minor vocabulary. The first part's in A minor, A harmonic minor type territory, with a bit of Phrygian dominant thrown in as well for good measure, and then it moves into C sharp minor, and he uses a lot of Hungarian minor scales then, which is the same as a harmonic minor, but the perfect fourth is raised to a sharp 4, augmented 4, or a flat 5, and it sounds like this in A. As opposed to a harmonic minor. So very exotic sounding and very metal. So let's dive straight in, and we start in A harmonic minor, and it's just lots of pedal tone type ideas, which is a great exercise for your technique, but also fantastic vocabulary for your neoclassical playing and improvising. Starting at the 5th fret, the B string. Really nice pedal tone lick here. Picking technique, I'm using strict alternate picking for this. I usually would use a lot of economy picking, and so would Joe Stump, but for this kind of thing, it's very rhythmic, and you want the accents that you would get from alternate picking. That just works perfectly. So I'm always going down, up, down, up, down, up, very strict. Then it's got a nice little lick based around A minor arpeggio and more A harmonic minor scale. Incidentally, for this part, I am using economy picking, so I go up. So I go up, up, up. So the really cool thing about this is you got these kind of like a semi-quaver 16th note ideas, but then you really get to hang on. There's like a whole beat of note that you can really hang on and add some vibrato to, which sounds really cool. So you can see the notes in the tab there, but that's kind of the feel that you're going for there. You got this very metal, very neoclassical sounding, and you need to put a lot of attitude in this. Lots of accents, picking quite hard, and you can really put a lot of feel and attitude into those held notes. So slowly for you. Second time round, it's more of the same, but then there's a variation at the end. You could play that around the same position, but I just find it works better if you move up to the 10th fret, go onto the B string. Then you're not having to do such a position shift. You could play that. I find it more beneficial to go. And then we're into a really cool lick, Phrygian dominant Yngwie style idea, which goes down the notes of the A harmonic minor or E Phrygian dominant, however you want to see that. I'll just play it at full speed. So slowly, picking pattern, I'm using economy picking for this. So I start with an upstroke, and in kind of a Ingve style, I'm pulling off the first string, and then from then on, every note is picked. So upstroke, pull off, into an upstroke, and then from there, we're going to pick every note using economy picking. That's kind of a classic Ingve style lick, you know, where you're going through the octaves. So you got an idea here, then you're going up into the down an octave, playing the same thing there or thereabouts. So, you know, you've gone through 3 octaves there, playing the same pattern of 7 notes or so. So picking pattern, so it starts with an upstroke. Kind of lick that works a lot better fast. It feels a lot more natural up at full speed. I'll go through it again and just watch my picking hand there, how efficient it looks, and it's not really moving a hell of a lot because of the economy picking, where you're going straight. Every time you change strings, you're going straight there with an upstroke rather than possibly going up and then to a downstroke. That's what economy picking is all about. So the way I imagine economy picking is that if it's on one string, I'm alternate picking still. But when you crossing strings and moving on to the next string, you're always going straight there. So if it's ascending run, you're going to go down, down. If it's an ascending run, you're going to go up, up, like so. Learn the notes off the tab there. It's got the picking strokes there. Practice that very slowly. Kind of lick that's actually a lot easier than it looks because of the economy picking. It just falls under the hands, the fretting hand, and then also the picking hand just falls very nicely. I would say this kind of thing sounds really impressive, and it's really cool. You can put a lot of attitude in there, but it's actually quite easy. So to the end of the first part of that lick, you're hanging there on the G sharp, and then you move into kind of a classic Joe Stump territory lick here, where he'll just burn up either a scale or an arpeggio. And there's not much phrasing going on, but it's a cool effect. It's this. Just up the familiar A minor shape here. But I'll go through the picking pattern. Down, hammer on, down, 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 up. And then you slide out. You don't hang on any of those notes. You can see on the... you hang a little bit longer on the first note and the last note, but all the notes that are in between those 2 A's are just a blitz. So it's that kind of sound. All together, that lick. Pretty cool stuff. Very aggressive, very metal. Then we're back into the lick that we've gone over again. So the variation this time, instead of that the run through harmonic minor, it's got a really nice pedal tone lick that's well worth learning in every key and using in your improvisations, which goes like this. Again, I'm using alternate picking for this part. All of these pedal tone parts are strict alternate picking, down, up, always. Not economy picking like that run was. So just got to watch that stretch there, make sure you're well warmed up. And again, the last beat of the final bar, you really get to hang and put some nice vibrato on there. What have we got so far? I'll play up to speed and then a slower tempo. A bit slower this time. Just watch my picking hand. It's always down, up, down, up. Apart from I'm coming down the arpeggios there, but whenever you see a pedal tone, it's always down, up, down, up. And then the final, the variation pedal tone lick, slower. Down, up, down, up. Nice, so that first section is in A harmonic minor, and now we move into B minor territory, and there's a really nice, this is the trickiest part, really nice pedal tone section. The reason it's so hard actually is because of it's just relentless and you need a lot of stamina, so make sure, I think it's actually a good warm-up to play at a slower speed, but at full speed I would make sure that I'm well warmed up, because the tendons in your fretting hand really start to kind of ache, and as it fills up with lactic acid. And unlike any kind of sporting endeavour where you got pushing through the pain is good, whenever you feel any kind of pain playing a musical instrument, it's not good. Just stop immediately, which is some advice I could have taken a little bit better at times of my career. I'll play it fast for you. Really cool section, all in a B harmonic minor, so we moved up a tone. But like I said, it's really tough on the stamina in your picking hand, and it's also tough on the tendons in your hand there, so just make sure you're well warmed up. This is a fantastic exercise for fretting hand and picking hand synchronization, endurance in your tendons, and your actual picking technique. So it's well worth learning this piece and getting up to speed and keeping on top of it, just because it's so good for your technique. Okay, I'm going to go through it a little bit slower here. Really cool stuff. That's definitely what I find the hardest, because quite quick this piece, 150-ish, 152 BPM. Yeah, if you're not like locked in and in the pocket, your picking hand and your fretting hand starts to get out of sync and it can fall apart really easy. This. Let me play it quite quick one more time. Yeah, so I was right on the edge there. It was started to fall apart a little bit. Okay, so we move into the third and final section, which has moved up another tone into C sharp minor this time. So it starts off with some C sharp minor arpeggios, and then he throws in some C sharp Hungarian minor licks, which are well worth stealing, and or coming up with some variations of your own and incorporating them into your own playing. I actually have a book called Beyond the Sun, The Art of Modern Neoclassical Guitar, and I did a chapter on Hungarian minor, and what I did at the end of the chapter was actually take a lot of the classic harmonic minor licks and transpose them into Hungarian minor. So the perfect fourth moves into is augmented and moves up a semitone to a flat 5. As you can hear, it's very metal, so it's going to work really well over anything like I don't know. Let's go through the notes. So it starts for C sharp minor arpeggio, which moves up through 2 inversions. Pick in there, so down, 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 hammer on and pull off, up, up. It doesn't come back up to the D string that ends on the G, so quite nice. This is quintuplets, so that's 5 notes per beat, which is quite a tricky feel to get. So these are well worth practicing as well, much slower on a metronome to get that feel. And then up into the next inversion, which is that shape. So not too hard technically, but the hardest thing is actually to get the timing. It's very easy to rush ahead, I find, on this. And then we're into a classic Joe Stump trick, a bit like the fast arpeggio, where he just blasts for a scale with not really any phrasing. He just blitzes through it as fast as possible, which you know, kind of inspired by impellatory type sound, but it is a cool effect. Which is a really cool effect. It's that kind of sound you hear that thing in Joe Stump's playing all the time. So with those arpeggios, you can hear it's very effective, very aggressive. Then we're into a really cool lick, which is definitely, definitely the coolest part of this whole section, which is really cool motif moving around a little phrase in the Hungarian minor scale in C sharp. So you can see the notes in the tab, but I'm actually using alternate picking again for this. It helps you stay in time a lot better at this tempo and really get that feel. So, you know, really pick it quite hard and get some good accents in there. So far in this section. So moving on, we're repeating those arpeggios there, and then you got a variation of that the first run. So you got, and as before, that run ended on a G sharp. We slide up to a C, which is the sharp 7 in this, so it can be viewed as Hungarian minor or harmonic minor. So we got. So same lick as before, but you just slide in up into that C. Quite English, isn't it? And then you got a really nice Hungarian minor lick that moves down through the octaves. To end. So that section altogether at a medium pace. That final lick is using a mix of a legato, hammer-on and pull-offs, and economy picking. And in the tab, I've written that that C sharp there as an 8th note, but it's not really. It's still a 16th note, but you're using the next 16th note to get down the octave. I just didn't want to write it as a rest because it is not a rest. If you see what I mean. That section again. A little bit sloppy, but you get the idea. I'm going to play it slower now, and you can watch my right hand at work. So there you go, studied the tab, studied the picking strokes. I'm using less economy picking than I usually would, definitely more alternate picking. for the pedal tones. At this speed, it's definitely the right way to go. That's why I don't think it's a good idea to ever fully commit to one technique, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to say I do 100% economy picking or 100% legato or 100% alternate picking. I think you should just use what works best in like any given situation. And yes, like I said, just take it really easy building up the speed on these, because those kind of constant 16th notes, it's full on this track. They're like definitely the kind of things that give you a repetitive strain injury very quick. Yeah, a couple of times I've had a few problems with some tendonitis and stuff when I was younger, because you just weren't listening to the warning signs. You were trying to like just carry on, and especially when you're, you know, when you play normally, you're kind of changing, like you're not just doing the same movements over and over again, but these kind of licks are just the same movements over and over again, and you're, yeah, like these tendons in here just get worn out really quick and can become inflamed. Look, you're not going to get any better if you're out and you have to have a few months off playing or something like that, just because, you know, you practice just a little bit too long one day. So yeah, I would say just go through them a couple of times, take a rest. That's why for these kind of things, I would not sit there and practice them for 4 hours. If I was going to practice for 4 hours, I would just come back to them at different intervals. And also, it's a very inefficient way of learning muscle memory, because, you know, you might have had that before. You're just playing the same lick over and over again for 4 hours, and then you go, and then you come back an hour later and you cannot remember it because you never let your brain kind of absorb it. So I think the way I practice is do 10 minutes or something like that, go off, have a cup of coffee, to the toilet or whatnot, come back, do it again, then leave it, and then just before I go to bed or something, I'll do it again. And then it just gives you time, you know, for your muscle memory to learn it, and then also for your brain to absorb it to the point that you don't have to think about it anymore. And I did do this video a couple of months ago on YouTube. It's a piece that I really enjoy playing. It's difficult, but it's not insanely difficult. So it is actually quite a nice one to play all the way through. And I'll put that video on at the end of this now. As always, hope it was useful, and see you in the next lesson.